Hey guys, I picked up this ThinkCar scanner. Let's check it out. Here's the first thing that I like about it is it's organized. It's in this nice, neat thing. I've already opened it, but I'll open it with you guys so you guys can see it at the same time. It's got this nice scanner inside this package. All the cables and all that. It has like European, UK, and also the charger is in, I already changed it over, it was in UK. It's really neat because it has, this thing here is magnetic to the back, so it's easy to keep it all together. I mean, that's one of the things you'll probably lose if you know, I don't know how you can't even work it. That's the dongle. The software is pretty snappy. It does work pretty good. And I haven't really plugged it into a car yet, but I just was hooking it up. You have to, you know, get connected to Wi-Fi and stuff like that because it does use the internet. I don't know if I've done updates yet on it, but anyway, we'll warm it up and bring it back in. All right, so I plugged her in. First time I'm using it with you guys, and something cool. Also, I noticed it has this cool steering wheel shindigger. That's what it's supposed to do, is put it on the steering wheel. Got to get in the right position though for this steering wheel. So we got, let's try it again. There, it's just this side is too big. So first thing we got to do is we'll do a VIN number thing. It's going to search for the VIN. It's Bluetoothed out to the car, which is already plugged in down here. And we'll bring it in. I'll bring it back in when it hits the VIN. So for some reason I couldn't get it to get the VIN, but let's just go to Chevrolet. Okay, maybe it'll find it now. Loading results. Let's see what it says here. And lo and behold, it found it. I just had to I pushed the wrong button. It says my fault. Vehicle model not supported. Let's see what. Probably. Alright, so I was having a little bit of trouble with it because I couldn't get the car brand I had in here, so I had to go into upgrade and then push enter. And so even though it's Chevy and Audi, they were not selected here. They didn't have software in here for it. So all I had to do is just make sure that those were checked. Auto search was not checked yet, so I had to check auto search and then push upgrade. You can see that upgrade there. And then what it did is it just, when I selected all the ones I wanted to select, I pushed upgrade and then it got all the software for that. All the software's there, but there's a lot of brands in here maybe that you're not going to be working on, so it might be a good idea. I mean, if I'm not going to work on any Citroens. I mean, I can always change it later. You know, if you're in the UK or something, you might want all those, but Daewoo, it's possible. I'll go unselect all the brands, and I think that'll help it run a little bit faster too, so it won't select through all the things that I'm not trying to do. So we'll bring it back outside in a little bit and check it, but I just wanted to show you this part. Alright, so I found the VIN number, and then I'm just kind of going through all the stuff that it has. Now it's going back into the diagnosis, so now it does find the Chevy. Took a little bit of playing around. I'm just scanning it to see if there's any codes that we'll see. I don't think, oh yeah, it's going to scan everything. It goes through the whole amplifier. It says Bose, powertrain system, scanning. It's going to go through the whole thing. We'll bring it back in a second. Yeah, it says rear wheel steering. No, it doesn't have that, so it'll probably come up no. But it's showing all the stuff that it has, all the stuff that doesn't have. As you're doing it, you can kind of watch. It's kind of cool. All right, let's go over here to maintenance. So anyway, it did find the VIN and stuff like that, found all that stuff, but you can't go from there to here, so you got to go to the ABS, air bleeding, Like AdBlue reset. So if you have that, see if you have like a whatever DEF system, you can reset that. Adaptive front lighting system. So if you, like my Audi has an adaptive front lighting system, so I can reset that easily with this. Air suspension matching, airbag reset. I got to do that on my other car, so maybe we'll do that. Battery matching, I don't know what that is. And then it has a lot more. Look at all these. Brake pad reset. So these are all things that you can actually do. Clutch matching. Some cars have, like a DSG might have automatic clutches, where maybe that's the clutch matching system. And then if you have an electric water pump, you can start it up and stop it. Check the flow in your system. To do a regen, this truck does not have one. ECU reset. You can read that later and find out. EGR adaption. So like, I know I have to adapt the EGR on my car if I've done some work to it. On the Jetta. Electronics throttle adaption. FRM matching. Gateway module data. What's this? Let me read. I guess it's for certain models, cars. Gear running crankshaft position sensor, so you can. Sometimes you need to do that. Gearbox learning, so like my Jetta does that, where you have to do a driving thing. Anti-theft key matching. That's kind of cool. So you can make more keys. Injector coding. So this does like what the VCDS does. You can code your injectors on your European cars. Language settings and whatever. We don't need that. NOx sensor reset. Oil reset. Wow. So, it did reset for just an oil change. That's kind of cool. So you can do it through here instead of trying to. Every car's got like a whole procedure for that. So rainfall. Oh, light sensor. Okay. We have the automatic wipers for rain or whatever. Seat calibration. Calibrate the memory replaced and repair your seats. Wow. So seats. Steering reset angle. Wow. Stop start settings. Oh, that's for your automatic start stop. Sunroof initialization for the sunroof if you have that. Wow, there's just a gazillion things in here. Transport mode. Turbocharged matching. I don't know what models require that. Tire size adjustment. So that, yeah, sometimes if you put bigger tires on, you have to adjust it, and you can do that through here, it looks like. Versus there's procedures sometimes in the car, but you usually need to use a VCDS or something like that with a Volkswagen for that. So anyway, there's live data in here too. Let me figure out how to get to that. Kind of cool. You can go into the part where it does the OBD2, and you can see it says readiness completed 2, readiness not completed. So that what that means is, like if you're going to go to get a smog check and it said that you still don't have all your readiness, if it said 1 not completed, then you know you'd have to wait till it goes through all the readiness checks before you can go down and have it smog tested. There's several that are not supported because it's a federal diesel, so it's not going to have that many. It's only got like EGR, and I don't know, it doesn't have much. There's hardly anything. So it's done all those things. So it's kind of cool. It shows all that spark. I don't know why it shows spark ignition, and it has the diesel. So anyway, readiness node, read what kinds of stuff. Yeah. Now we're in the Volkswagen. It seems to find it. I had to make sure that the little blue light is on this thing, because it wasn't going all the way in before. When I was trying to get it in there, I had to get it down there with my fingers and crimp it all the way in. A little bit tight fitting. Let's try this. Let's go to airbag reset. So, because we got an airbag light on, you can see there. So let's go to airbag reset. Resets the airbag data, clearing the airbag indicator. In the truck, it's actually easier to use if I just put it down here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm looking at. So once you go through, let me see if I can back this up a little bit, and select the vehicle. Maybe I can go back a little bit more. And so what I did is I sometimes I put this in and I wasn't able to get it to show this VIN. It wasn't picking it up sometimes. So if you have difficulty with that, you'll have to put it in manually. I did it a couple times and it went fine, and then next time I tried it, it wouldn't. So let's get out of this session and we'll go back in and see. All right, so you see here, I'm just going to go to the history. So if you go back to here, you can go to history, okay? Or you can go to VIN and then auto search, enter, and it'll search for the VIN and find it. It did find them both, but it took a few tries. So I don't know. One time it just went right in. The next time it was a little more difficult. But I think that's kind of normal with most of these. So I'm just going to select this one again, and then no, I don't want to select it. I want to get it there. Okay, not do it that way. So then it goes through this whole thing. It has to do a whole diagnosis first. So you have to go through. It has to find all the modules. Kind of. So what I did is it found the VIN number and everything, and I had to go in here and push 2003. So this one here it didn't, and I had to select all the things it is. Silverado, 4-wheel drive. So Silverado 4-wheel drive, then 5-speed automatic. It's federal emissions, I know. It's this transfer case, and then dual zone, up level radio. So it didn't find it automatically. I don't really know how to get it to do that. So maybe it's just me. I'm not sure. It does take a while to go through this whole process. Once you go through this whole process, then I'll show you what to do. So then you got to go in here to system scan, and then let it go through all the percentages. It takes a little while for it to do that. It has to check everything, and then once it gets through all this, you know, whatever has to get to 100%, then you can actually look at each module and test. You can run, you can check everything live data. So it's pretty neat as far as that goes. It does stuff that the other ones that I have don't do. So let's look at those things here in a second after I get through this process. I'll just let you pause for a second. All right, so now it finally goes through that process and gets to the part where it says equipped, all these things. So you can go to, now, let me show you this part, which is pretty cool. You can go to powertrain system, and this is one of the things that, 'cause, 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 ' module information, engine. What? I was just on this a minute ago. Oh, okay. Well, that's just maybe I don't want information. I want read data stream. So we want to go into read data stream. We're going to go into engine display. There's just so much stuff on this thing. So there's engine data 1, engine data 2. So I think it's in engine data 2. Now I can go, because I wanted to check my balancing on my fuel rail or on my injectors, because I know I have some that are out and not doing that well. So let's look. I got all 8 selected, and I can do, there's calculated fuel rate, desired fuel rate, engine runtime, engine speed. There's just, you can search through here to find just about everything. Injector command, interesting. Well, I could probably shut one injector off at a time. That'd be interesting, you know. So anyway, let's just select all those. There's just a ton of stuff you can do with this thing. This is called a balance test, and I used to have to use my auto ingenuity to do this, and it worked good, but it was a pain in the butt because I had to drag it all out here and the laptop and all that, and now I can just do it with this thing. So this one here is a +2. That doesn't sound very good. That might be my culprit, and it's having to add fuel there. The rest of them look pretty good, don't they? They're around 1. That one's at 2. So you're looking at your balance rates, but if you give it a little gas, you're not supposed to really give it gas, but see, and then they all go to 0. But yeah, you can look at the balance rate on all the cylinders. So that's something that this does that the other ones didn't do. Let's look here. Injector command. Let's turn these ones off. Let's see what injector command is. I don't even know. Injector command. Maybe we'll just do 1. Okay. I don't know what it's going to do here. Takes a little while sometimes. This is kind of a little frustrating, but like I said, it's what's that? What if I hit the gas? Oh, interesting. Injector command. Let's select all of them and check it. Ooh, it's doing its thing. So yeah, it's pretty neat. It just took me a little while to figure out how to get it to live data, but you have to enter in the whole car, which kind of makes sense. So now it's showing the command for each injector. Interesting. Does this seem like anything's odd to you guys? I don't know. I've never seen that. So go out of there. So you can check all these things at the same time, different data points, and compare them. Injection timing. So that's all the things on one page. Now there's engine data 2. So now you've got, that's engine data 2 I'm in. Engine data 1. Like accelerator pedal angle, battery voltage. We can just look at that. It's for fun. Yeah, you can just put a voltmeter on it, but you can do all these things, and you can look at several of them at the same time, which all these things help you diagnose a problem when you have one. And on diesels, you have to having that balance test is really important to know if you have an injector issue, especially on the 03. Yeah, so we're at 13.8. Beautiful. Fuel rail pressure. You can check boost sensor. Look at all these things here. Cruise control switch. I have a little thing where my cruise control pops out. I could probably start testing that. But it's usually when I'm pulling a trailer. So fuel rail pressure, so it might be a short back there. Generator. Glow plug feedback signal. All these different things. So you've got water and fuel. You can check that to see if it's showing that it has water and fuel, which you usually have the light on the dash. Maybe your light bulb's out. So there's every car's different. Everyone has different data points. So and then it even does things with like the seats, like BCM. So you can go into BCM. I don't know all this stuff. If I had a fault code in there, actuation test. Output control. Also, I can turn on light test. I can do a light test. I don't really want to do it because I don't know what it'll do. Rear defogger, I can test that. I can test the, so everything in the whole vehicle is in here. Okay, just like you at a dealership. This is pretty cool. So it does pretty much everything. You can test everything. And so like if you had, I don't know, if you had a light out in your interior and you can open the door for long enough or it was dimming out, you want to check your dimmer, you could try that and actuate it from here. There's just, I can't even. So in your BCM alone, in your body control module, you can test all these different things here. Clear fault code, read, okay, actuation test. I don't know, there's a ton of them. Output control, lamp dimming test. Remember what I was saying about the lamp dimming? You could do that. You could test anything in your vehicle. So, yeah, and it does have a ton of vehicles in there. In fact, it had so many that there's ones I've never even heard of. So yeah, it does pretty much anything your factory computer could do. Pretty much. There might be a few things that they do that this one won't, but this is a pretty nice tool to have here. So I'm gonna think this is pretty good machine. I really like the carrying case, that portion of it. I really, once I got to figure out the software, I don't mind it at all. It's I'm gonna say it's average speed. Most of these things are about the same speed. So if you're expecting something to be a little snappier, I do have one that doesn't do as many fault codes and everything, as many tests as this does. So this thing does pretty much everything, and so I'm really excited about it. So I did my Volkswagen too, and it did stuff in there. I mean, I could program ejectors. I could do all the stuff that, I mean, I don't know if it does everything that the Rostec does. I don't think it quite does that, but it does a lot of those things. So, and it's a little, like I said, getting the Rostec out, getting the computer out, and hooking it up is a little bit of a pain. This thing, you can do all of it right here. So it's a nice tool to have. And it's wireless, it's compact, it has this thing, and it reminds you every time to take this out, and it just sits in there, fits in the nice little package. The battery life is pretty good. I'll say this is a nice machine. Pretty cool. All right, so that's it for this, guys. Hopefully this helps you. I hope it helps you figure out how to use it, because that's one of the main things I was trying to do in this video, is show you how to use this thing better. And it's go in here, and you have to go into select your vehicle, and then once you get it in there, and then you do the scan on the whole vehicle, then once you go through the whole scan process, then you can start going into modules and start testing and stuff like I showed here. So, and then you can look at basically data for anything. So hope that helps. So talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments.